Gateway is going down for best. I wouldn't say either player has an advantage at this point because of the respective builds. Well, actually, no, I would say perhaps Crazy-Hydra has maybe a 10% advantage or something like that. Oh, there's a lot of Lurkers, by the way. I'm not sure if Best saw them. So it indeed is going to be a Lurker build here, and I really like this follow-up here. This I think is just a great follow-up here. Because Best is not going to have a lot of gas. He's, in fact, not going to have observers even for a little bit. So it's going to take a long time before Best gets a force that can break out of a heavy Lurker contain. And wow, there is the only Corsair getting sniped off there. Well done by Crazy-Hydra. So yeah, basically Best, since he only had that one base, he doesn't have a large collection of units, and his Zealot heavy also, so that's not going to help him against Lurkers at all. And he has also got an Archon instead of Storm. This could actually be disastrous for Best, especially if Crazy-Hydra decides just to go in, although he needs more units to go in than just 5 Lurkers. But certainly his contain's going to be very strong. It's not going to be broken for a little bit of time. Best will also have to get Dragoons with range. That's really the effective weapon against Lurkers, not Zealots, obviously. They just take way too much splash damage, and you know, obviously Dragoons with range can outrange Lurkers, for those of you who didn't know, and that is just you know, the ideal weapon to use against them, in addition to Storm, of course. So Crazy-Hydra really has a very good position in this game, I'd say. He has Best going the kind of wrong tech route and the wrong type of units. Of course, you know, he made the smart decision, basically, so it made sure that Best's units were not the most appropriate ones. So, well done. Oh, by the way, one other thing, reminding me of that email address. Basically, if you're interested, I make this call out maybe once every month or so. But if you're interested, you like my videos, I would encourage you. And if you have a decent, you know, living, you're making a decent living already. You know, I don't want students to donate money to me, but you can make donations to my PayPal address, which is CholeraSC@hotmail.com. I make this call maybe once a month, and I get you know, a moderate amount, and it's certainly very much appreciated. Best has actually come out with a smart attack. Crazy-Hydra actually, wow, is going to suffer the loss of all 4 Lurkers to the southern area here. I mean, Best just had so many Zealots, like he could actually do it. He could just actually storm out. And look at this, Best actually is pushing forward here. Hydra evidently did not make any other units other than Lurkers to sit outside the base. I think if he had some Hydras, that would have been much smarter. They would have blocked for his Lurkers. So I'm not sure exactly what he can do now. He's just got Zerglings, but the Zealots are +1 upgraded, which means the Zerglings, I don't think they have armor. They're going to fall on 2 hits instead of 3. He is in big trouble, in fact, if he doesn't get a lot of Lurkers out. He has 3 Lurkers. I think it was a mistake for him not to have any blocking units. I mean, you can't just have Lurkers by themselves in the Lurker contain. You also need Hydras, and you know, the best thing is to get some Scourge with Overlords to snipe the observers, but it looks like Hydra's only got one part of the game plan right. I really think he could have had more units there, man. And he also split his Lurkers, of course, which led them to be destroyed piecemeal. Now Best definitely has a decent position because he can go on the offensive, and he also pick up a 3rd if he wants to. So by that one move there, by breaking out so easily, Best certainly has thrown up an advantage. The 4th base evidently only has 3 mineral patches. It's mainly a gas only there, basically. And we saw Hydra going for a hive. So, I mean, if he can keep all of his bases, he'll be okay. But that is not necessarily going to happen because he lost about 6 or 7 Lurkers for no reason, doing no damage, and that's a huge loss. Still pretty early on in the game here, only about the 12th minute or so. 2 observers only. I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen that Scourge Overlord combination. Really, I thought almost all pro gamers use that. Another reason, of course, is because the Overlords don't have speed yet. And oh, they get just one observer there. I believe there's still 3 left. I mean, we'll see if Best has good control over them. The only player I kind of make fun of for not having control is Stork, and even so, it's only in a couple games where I've seen that. Although pretty much every game I've seen him play against Stork, he has lost observers left and right. So I do think that's one weakness, a small weakness in Stork's game. But Best, of course, might not have that at all. Bisu is very good, for example, with his observers. Anyway, there's an attack from Best. He's moving in, and the Lurkers are not even all burrowed. This is going to prove to be pretty bad for Hydra, who's beginning to look a little bit inexperienced here. I don't know if he's going to be able to survive these attacks here. He might be able to because of his economy, but look at this. I mean, Lurkers coming in waves, although they are doing a lot of damage to the Zealots, of course. Zealots not very good against Lurkers, and I think what's keeping him alive is the fact that he has such a big economic advantage. Wow, even more Lurkers being produced. produced. I mean, this is such a high use of gas, and finally, there come the Scourge. I don't think Best was even ready for that, although that certainly was good timing, in fact, to come at the end, I guess, when there weren't that many units, although arguably he could have just killed the Scourge earlier, and that would have saved a lot of his units also. But still, regardless, he has managed to push Best back, and Best, in fact, might be in trouble because he's only got Dragoons. If there's a lot of cracklings coming, that would end those Dragoons very easily. Best is continuing to advance. I think this might be a mistake here. I think he should retreat with his units and get some High Templar. I don't think he should lose this core force here of goons. He is retreating now, finally, but I do think he might have overextended himself by trying to break that ramp. He hasn't picked up a third either. Best has not expanded again. Man, I think that was a mistake. So this is definitely putting Hydra back in the lead now that Best has made kind of an inopportune attack and chosen to build units instead of getting a third, which he could have defended had he not attacked. So yeah, as you can see, the third base is not started yet. He's going for it now, but he is very weak on the ground now, and that is going to possibly lead to this expansion not being able to be put up. So there's Nexus. Best has rebuilt some Zealots. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't have that large High Templar collection that I think he should have at this point, and it's mainly because, like I said, it goes back to the point where he didn't have that second base up because of this map, so he hasn't been able to collect so many Templars as he would otherwise be able to. He's certainly built enough observers, though, definitely making sure that he does not get caught immobile without the ability to attack the Lurkers. There's two DTs who are now detected by Crazy-Hydra. I don't think these DTs are going to do anything. Crazy-Hydra should get speed overlords pretty soon, though. So these DTs are going to be able to roam about a bit because of the lack of the speed for overlords. Excuse me. Although it looks like, yeah, Crazy-Hydra is well defended there at that top base. He has been at four bases for now for quite a bit of time. He's definitely economically ahead in this game, and I think that was pretty much what allowed him to sustain the damage. You know, when Best went up that hill, he just had waves and waves of defenders coming. He didn't really defend with all of his units at once because he was still making them, and he didn't do the early observer snipes, which I think was a kind of a mistake. He should have, but still he managed to survive because of the economic advantage. Now I think he knows there's going to be a new expansion. Good links around there. Nice work there by Crazy-Hydra, sniping off that Archon critically. There is Crazy-Hydra looking all of about 13 years old. But he's Crazy-Hydra, so we'll see if that craziness comes into play at all. Actually, I've not seen any Hydra play, period, in this game. Seriously, I have seriously not seen any Hydra play. So I have no idea if that name is at all appropriate. At all. Yeah, I mean, maybe he likes Lurkers, but, you know, he's just trying to confuse us. Anyway, Best now has a lot of High Templar already. That's going to help him if there's a frontal attack. Okay, there are the Defilers. They're going to also be a turning point in this game if Crazy-Hydra uses them well. He could end this game right now, in fact, if he uses them well with the number of units he has. I mean, with the economy and the production abilities, but it's hard to use them well, obviously. Only the best can really do that, especially in a PvZ where the Protoss units are pretty, the Dragoons especially are pretty strong against Lurkers. You really got to make sure they're covering, the Darkstorms are covering a lot of space, and your Lurkers can be spread out, because otherwise, one storm will just kill all of your units underneath it. So it involves basically just lots of Dark Swarm and lots of dispersion of your units. But used correctly, the late game Defiler play in PvZ is so powerful. I mean, just like 12 Lings and one Defiler will kill expansions that are defended by any number of photon cannons. I mean, they basically destroy the purpose of photon cannons, and they're also very good combined with drop. Doing the same thing can snipe off a number of critical buildings in the main, or even the main nexus very easily. Really, the Protoss is forced to keep